All right, welcome to Coffee with Markus. This is episode 128, and today we'll talk about trading on margin. Because trading on margin can be very powerful when used correctly, but it can also be a disaster if you don't know what you're doing. And I'll give you an update on my goals and, of course, my trading account. So, hey, fun filled show. Let's get started. This show is about real money and real trades. I'll show you the trading strategies that I personally trade, the tools that I use to trade my own accounts, and we will talk about the right mindset of a trader. Now, talking about mindset, I'm going to show you how to create SRC profits. And SRC stands for systematic, repeatable, and consistent, because that is the key to long-term success in the markets. So, if you are sick of all the hype and empty promises, and you want to learn trading strategies that actually work, then click on like right now and let's get started. All right, fantastic. Welcome everybody. So good to see everybody here. Yeah, so today we're going to talk about trading on margin, because when used correctly, margin can be super powerful, but when you use it incorrectly, it can be a disaster. And I also want to give you an update on my goals, especially my trading account. So let me just very briefly recap of what is happening here, because you know that a few weeks ago in Coffee with Markus here, I shared my goals for 2021, and goal number one was to trade for income, to actually fund an account, trade it live with you here on YouTube, and the goal is to make $15,000 per month for living expenses. Now, in a little bit, I'll show you how to get access to this document, because in this document, I do not only have my goal and my to-dos, but I also have my trading plan of how exactly I am planning to achieve this goal. So here we started trading in the beginning of this week, and let's see, we have the 15th, so we started on January 10th, I believe, right? 5 days ago, yeah, 2021. So started trading, and let's just see how this is going thus far. Again, the idea is to make $15,000 per month. This means that I need to make $500 per day, because we have 30 days in the months. And since I'm not a day trader, I'm holding positions over the weekend. This is why I can use the full 30 days. I'll show you the positions that I have right now and the ones that I will hold over the weekend. By the way, it is a long weekend. On Monday, we have Martin Luther King Day, and markets are closed. But let's jump right in and let's talk about the trades that I have on right now. So there's an Apple trade. I was actually able to close an Apple trade earlier today. So let's actually just go, before we go to the individual trades, to the overview. And you see, thus far, I have realized $1,392 in 5 days. Now, obviously, this is not my goal. My goal is to make $2,500. But as you can see right now, unrealized profit and loss is $1,082. So therefore, the total realized and unrealized profit and loss right now is $2,500. So I'm right on track with this. And yes, I'm using margin in order to do this. And this is what we're going to talk about in today's show, so that you see exactly how I do it with margins. So let's take a look at the positions. So I already had an Apple position that I closed. I have another Apple position right now where I sold the 126 put. So we can take a look at this here on the charts. So I want to see that Apple stays above 126 by January 22nd. And you see right now, this is actually not correct. It used to be 127, and I already made money on this one. Now I've sold the 126 put, and let's see. As long as Apple stays above 126 by next Friday, I'll be good. I can keep the whole premium. I can keep it regardless. And if it moves below, I will get a sign. By the way, if you are new to this channel here and have no clue what I'm talking about, first of all, if you would like to download my plan with all of my goals and my trading plan, go right here. There we go. rockwelltrading.com/myplan. If you would like to know more about the trading strategies that I use, which are the Power X strategy as well as the wheel strategy, I'll post a few links in the description where you can have access to some playlists that I did here on YouTube so that you can see exactly of what's happening and what I'm doing here. But for those of you who have been watching here for a little bit, so you probably already know what I'm talking about. So here, the other trade, that is a nail biter, GDXJ. So let's take a look at this. With GDXJ, my bet is that we will stay above 49.50 by this afternoon. And as you can see right now, it is at 49.49. So this means that I could get assigned this stock, that I'm forced to buy the stock at $49.50. Let's see. I mean, we can watch it here live since the markets are live right now. The markets will be open for another 25 minutes. So we will see if I'm getting assigned in GDXJ or not. So this is really what depends. Earlier, it looked really, really good. And I did something kind of stupid. So what I did when everything looked good earlier, and I thought, oh yeah, this will expire worthless. No problem. Yeah. Never assume when it comes to the markets, because I did sell, as you can see, next week's 48.50. Next week's 48.50 put already, assuming that this would expire worthless. And right now it seems that I might get assigned. So if this is the case, as you can see, right now this is down. So then next week, of course, we will sell calls against it. And I will show you how I turn this trade around from a right now, as it seems, losing trade into a winning trade. So here's another trade that I have on right now, LL Lumber Liquidator. And as long as we stay above 28, let me show this to you on the charts. As long as we stay above 28 by this afternoon, so for the next 25 minutes, I can keep the whole premium. And obviously, this looks really, really good, right? So we're fine here. We're fine here. Then I have Monster. This was a super quick one-day trade. So I sent it out as a power alert yesterday, as you know. And with Monster, we are looking that Monster stays above 86 by the end of the day. So for another 22 minutes. Very likely, right? So this was a one-day trade, and this one-day trade will probably give us somewhere around, $350? Not bad for only one day, right? And I sent this out as an alert yesterday. And then we have Win. So Win, I also sent this out as an alert. I entered it earlier this week, and as long as we stay above 100, we will be good there. So Win, if we stay above 100 for the next 22 minutes, we can keep the premium. And today I entered another trade for Win expiring next week. So as you can see, a whole lot going on in this account right now. The unrealized P&L, 2,709, and really the GDXJ trade will be the kind of a nail biter. Will I get assigned or not? And I already have the next put sold for next week for 48.50, but we shall see what happens there. All right, so this is regarding my trades and what is going on there. Let me just shift gears here, because now I want to talk about something else. And then, of course, we will do a deep dive in a little bit. I'll take a look at your questions and I'll answer them as we always do. There we go. But right now, let's talk about trading with margin. You see, when used correctly, margin can be your best friend. And when used incorrectly, it can be a disaster. Leveraged is a double-edged sword. It can work for you as well as against you. So right now, I want to show you the responsible way to trade on margin. So let's get started here. Let's talk about margin. First of all, what the heck is margin? So what is margin? Well, it actually means that when opening a trading account, you can open a cash account or a margin account. So what cash, you see, let me make this a little bit nicer, cash or a margin account. So what is the difference? Well, with the cash account, if you put $10,000 into the cash account, it means that you have $10,000, there we go, in buying power. meaning that you can buy stocks and options for $10,000. Now, when you have a margin account, this is the difference. When you're putting $10,000 in cash in there, the broker will actually lend you another $10,000, so you're getting $20,000 in buying power. Now, let me show you exactly how you open a margin account. And I want to show it to you with tastyworks, because that is a broker, as you can see, that I personally use. So I have 4 active accounts here with tastyworks. If you would like to have more information on them, there's a link in the description, rockwelltrading.com/tastyworks. You see, if you want to open another account, and this is where, if you go to rockwelltrading.com/tastyworks, it basically takes you right here where it talks about the account. So, and it asks, what kind of account do you want to open? Is it an individual account, an entity, a trust, or a joint account? And do you want to open a margin, cash, or retirement account? So a retirement account and a cash account are pretty much. Let's just go back here. So cash and retirement account, this is where the broker does not lend you money. So whatever whatever cash you have in there, this is what you have in buying power. But when you use a margin account, you're getting a 2-to-1 buying power. So let's talk about what is buying power, about this buying power, because there's also 2 things that you need to know when it comes to buying power. So the first is there is buying power for options. And buying power for options is always non-leveraged. So if you put $10,000 in cash, even in a margin account, it means that you have $10,000 in buying power for options. And I'll explain to you in a moment why that is. And then we also have buying power for stocks. And here, this is where margin kicks in. So $10,000 in cash will give you $20,000 in buying power for buying stocks. Now, there's also something called portfolio margin. And we will talk about this in just a moment, but I first want to show you exactly what it means here to have the buying power for options and to have the buying power for stocks. So I want to give you here a very specific example, and we are looking at the example of Apple. And first of all, we want to look at what happens if you want to buy, let's say, or you want to sell, let's say you want to trade the wheel, and you want to sell the, where's Apple trading right now? Just quickly go to Apple, that we get an idea where it is trading. So it is trading at 127, and let's just say that you want to sell the 150 put for Apple. Okay. So here's the deal. What does it mean? It means that if you're selling the put, you might be forced to buy Apple at 125. And for each option that you're sold, for each put, you have to buy 100 shares of Apple at $125. So this means that you would have to bring $12,500 to the table, right? Now here's the deal. When you're selling options, right, the broker is already giving you a discount. So let's see how much the broker is charging us if we want to sell a 125 put for Apple. So I'm just going here to Apple, click on trade. I'm just choosing next week's expiration because at this point it doesn't really matter. And I will sell one put. The price doesn't matter right now because all I want to show you is how much buying power is needed. So as you can see, the buying power that will be reduced from your options is 2,202. So let's write this down. So the broker is only charging you $2,202. So as you can see, if you are buying Apple at 125, you would have to bring 12,500 to the table, but here the broker is only charging you 2,202. Now again, we want to assume a $10,000 account because this is what many people are starting with. So on a $10,000 account, you could, in theory, right? Theoretically, you could sell 4 of these options. Okay, you could sell 4 options. And for this, if we are doing this, so let's just go back here, go to edit order and say, let's actually sell 4 and see what buying power effect it has. So we see that the broker would charge you $8,795. So this would be $8,795. So on a $10,000 account, at first it seems that you have enough margin for this. Wrong. Don't do that. So this is where we talk about the responsible way and the irresponsible way to do this. So when you do this, this would be irresponsible. Actually, just let me go there. This way, you see exactly why I think that it is wrong. So here is what I think you should do. On a $10,000 account, you're actually getting, what did we say earlier, $20,000 in buying power for buying stocks. So you have $20,000 for buying stocks. So if you are selling 1 option, see, and you would get assigned, then you would have to buy stocks for $12,500. And you still have $7,500 left, right? So this is why you only sell 1 option. And even though your broker will only charge you $2,205, right? When assigned, or if assigned, you would have to bring $12,500 to the table. The good news is you have that because the broker gave you $20,000 in BP, buying power. So this here is the right way to do this. And the right way means that you're not over leveraging yourself. So here's what happens if. So what happens if you would have sold 4 options and got assigned? Well, in this case, you would have to bring to the table 4 times $12,500. So this is $50,000, but you only have $20,000 in buying power. I abbreviate it right now with BP. So there's a difference. So if you take the $50,000 minus the $20,000 that you have in buying power, you are $30,000 short. And these $30,000 become a so-called margin call. And these are the dreaded margin calls that you sometimes hear traders talk about. And a margin call means that right now you have to wire the broker $30,000, which you probably might not have, right? And if you don't do this, he will sell, okay? If you don't wire the shortage to your broker, he will sell 3 times or 300 shares, yeah, so that you're still fine that you have less than the 20,000. He probably sells a little bit less, so because he wants to make sure that you're just overcoming this shortage. Is this making sense thus far? Okay. By the way, I'll leave these notes for you. I'll put it somewhere in the descriptions here magically. We'll find a way how to do this. But the beautiful thing here about YouTube is that you can actually pause this video at any time, rewind, take a look at the notes, and this way you see what is happening. So let's talk now about this portfolio margin. What the heck is the portfolio margin? Well, the portfolio margin is for bigger accounts. And when I say bigger accounts, it really depends on the broker. You see, some brokers request at least $100,000 in your account. Others request that you have at least $150,000 in your account. And even others request that you have $175,000 in your account. It really depends on your broker. Now, however, if you have the required minimum in the account, you can apply for portfolio margin. And why is this interesting at all? Well, portfolio margin basically means, again, it depends on the broker, that you are getting a 5-to-1 leverage, or some brokers even offer, or even a 6-to-1 leverage. So what does this mean? It means that if you have, let's say, $200,000 in cash in an account, it becomes $1 million in buying power, right? Or depending on the broker, it could even become 250 in buying power. So now you have a lot of buying power. And again, you have to use this responsibly. Just because the broker is giving it to you, you shouldn't use all this. So the same principles, for me personally, the same principles here apply than using a 2-to-1 margin account. I personally use this excess buying power, when things go wrong, when I need to save a trade that is in trouble. So this is when I have to fly a rescue mission. And if you're wondering what that means, I did a video on this. It is how to manage a trade that is in trouble. And I'll put a link in the description and probably also here in the chat so that you can see exactly what I'm doing when a trade is in trouble. So wait, let me go back here. So because the point is like trading on margin, how do you use this responsibly? Well, first of all, it is super important that you understand what margin is, what buying power is, and then that you also understand that your broker is only charging you a small amount. Let me just make this in purple here. When you are selling options, don't use this. I actually want to make this red. Right? I mean, don't over leverage yourself, because when you do this, you're getting the dreaded margin call. And when you're getting the dreaded margin call, you have to either wire money into the account, and this is pretty much right away. The broker usually gives you 24 hours. Some brokers might be generous and give you 48 hours, but usually it is within 24 hours. And if you don't wire the shortage to your broker, he will sell your shares until the margin, and this is horrible, let me just see, until the margin requirement is met. So you lose full control, and you don't want to do this. Anyhow, has this been helpful at all? Because if it is, do me a favor and click on like. And if you enjoyed this video, you might want to also subscribe to this channel, hit the little notification bell, because this way you get notified whenever I release a new video. There will be probably right now popping up a few more videos on the screen. Feel free to take a look at this. And since we're here live, I will actually dive into the comments. And even more importantly, let's see what our GDXJ trade is doing. Let me just get rid of this. Let's see, where is GDXJ right now? GDXJ is at 48.44. We have 6 minutes left. We can actually take a look at this in the chart. So we have 6 minutes left in trading, and right now it is at 49.48. So if it closes below 49.50, I might get assigned, and I will be the proud owner of 2,000 shares of GDX on Monday. Actually, not on Monday, because Mondays the exchanges are closed because we have Martin Luther King Day. So we will see what is happening here. LL, Monster, and Win, they're all looking good. GDX is the one trade that I need to keep an eye on and see if I might get assigned. And if so, I will be selling calls. Anyhow, so good to see all of you here. And hey, before I dive into your questions, I want to show you something cool. As you know, I have this book, The Power X Strategy, right, that you can get for $4.95 on my website. I'll leave a link in the description. This has actually been translated into Portuguese. So it is now available in Portuguese. We are right now working on a Spanish translation. So the Spanish translation of this book is probably coming out in 2 to 3 weeks from now. So this is happening. Now, talking about books and my goals, you know that one of my goals here, going back to my goals document is to, there we go, publish the Wheel strategy book. And here's the good news. As you can see, over the past few weeks, I edited the chapters 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So going into this year, I already had the chapters 1 through 5 edited. Today, I wrote chapter 11. So I just realized there was one chapter missing. So I wrote chapter 11, and right now, Mark and Nicole are proofreading it. And the plan is that next week, we're formatting it for the printer, finalize the cover, and the idea is to send it to the printer next week. So here it is in all its glory, if it comes up. So there it is. Right now it is a whopping 149 pages. So this here is the Wheel strategy book. If you're interested in learning more about the Wheel strategy, so this will come out very, very shortly. And as you can see, as soon as it does, we will make it available for pre-order. And then as soon as the printer prints it, we will ship you a copy. So this is happening. All right. We have 4 minutes left in trading. And with the 4 minutes left in trading, oh my gosh, it seems that I'm getting assigned here. Now, assignment is not bad at all. So if we get assigned, we will sell calls against it. And this is actually pretty cool because in GDXJ, there is a lot of premium in calls. So if we take a look at this, I mean, right now we cannot sell calls just yet because we don't know where we'll close in 3 minutes from now. But if you look at calls next week, I mean, just look at this at the 50 level. At the 50 level, we would get 88, 90 cents. So that is not bad at all. So that is pretty good premium that we can get there. Anyhow, so we'll keep an eye on this here for the next 2.5 minutes before the markets close, because this will determine whether I'm getting assigned or not. And you know, if I'm getting assigned, it's probably not a bad thing at all, because then here together live on YouTube, if you want, I can show you how to manage the trade. So how I am selling calls and working myself out of the hole, because right now, as you can see, it seems that on these options, I'm down $300. On the ones that I sold for next week, I'm down $500. So a total of $700. And if you have been following me for a while, you know that recently I was in a TQQQ trade that went against me. It was down $4,900, and I turned it all the way around and exited it with a profit of $2,700. That, by the way, is an example in the book, The Wheel Strategy, and I'll also, I will show you here how we do it with GDXJ. Okay, so since it is a minute and a half, I will definitely go to your questions, but I'm super curious right now. I'm actually switching to a 5-minute chart here. So this right now is a 5-minute chart. So let me go back to the screen to see where we end. And right now, it doesn't seem that GDXJ wants to pull above 49.50 here. So we might get assigned. We have another exactly 1 minute left. So 1 minute left. GDXJ, can you turn around? Let's see. We have 50 seconds left. 50 seconds to go above 49.50. Are you going to above 49.50? Oh, let's see. No, I don't think it's happening. We have right now 40 seconds left on the clock. So 40 seconds left. Is this going to turn around, or will I be assigned? Right now, it seems that I am the proud owner of 2,000 shares of GDXJ at 49.50. Let's see, how much would this require? So I think, so we have 2,000 shares times 49.50. So this will take away $99,000 of my buying power. Okay. All right. So we have the last 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1, and ding, 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 ding. Markets are closed. As you can see, we now switch to post market. And it seems that I will get assigned. Now, this assignment is not happening right now automatically. As you can see, it still shows that I'm owning the put because the buyer of the put that I sold has the right to exercise it by 5:30 this afternoon. And the buyer of the put has to notify the broker and says, yes, I want to exercise this option. Usually this is not done automatically. So we will see if a buyer actually says, yeah, I want to have from you, Markus, the shares for $49.50, and then he's probably selling it right away in the market for $49.35, making a little bit. So this would be the person, the other person on the other side who took this trade. Anyhow, good. Okay, so good to see you here. So let's actually dive into the questions. And there is Chris from Ireland. Welcome. So good to see everybody. Jim says, bummed that markets are closed on Monday, right? This is where it becomes weird when you're a trader. You see, other people are happy when they have a 3-day weekend. As traders, we are like, I don't want to have a 3-day weekend. What are you talking about, right? we love trading. So, yeah, I mean, even a 2-day weekend is long, right? Anyhow. Hey, there's, how do you pronounce this? Carrie from Sweden. So your first time today, welcome to the channel. Make sure that you subscribe, hit the little notification bell. This way you get notified whenever I go live. All right, so Ali's asking, do you plan to trade TQQQ again? It was a good recovery. I was very tempted to trade it today. But looking at the positions that I have on right now, so as you can see right now, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 positions. I mean, Monster and LL will disappear because they expired worthless. So I'm making the money here. But I will have 3 positions. And I decided going into next week with all the uncertainty that is going on, that will be fine. And why do I say uncertainty? Well, next week is Inauguration Day. And as you know, there is some possible protests, maybe with violence. We don't know. This could send the markets into a tailspin. So we want to be careful here. Anyhow, so Jeff actually got out of GDXJ yesterday with 80% profit. Yay. Well, I don't know. We'll see, right? I'm pretty sure that I will make money on this trade. Knock on wood, and you can follow along and see exactly what's happening here. And yeah, Carolyn, LL is good. LL is good. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. So Barry says only received Monster and Win alerts this week. Is that correct? Yes, it is. These are the alerts that I issued. So these are the alerts that I'm trading in this smaller account here. And you see all the alerts that we have issued thus far have been profitable. There were a total of 5 alerts, already making you $828. And today is what? January 15th. So $820 in 2 weeks on a much, much, much smaller account. This here is a $25,000 cash account where I got $50,000 in buying power. Is that right? Or did I put $50,000 in there? I've already traded it up quite a while. I will look it up. I think I might have put $50,000 in there. Got $100,000 in buying power. I'll check it. I'll check it out and let you know. Good. So Dallas is asking, do we need to have the PowerX Optimizer software to get the alerts that you send out? No, but the advantage is when you do have the PowerX Optimizer software, you're getting all these other things, right? So this is where, for example, which one did we close yesterday? Twitter. Twitter was a fantastic trade. Let's take a look at this. Twitter, we made $528 in 3 days. And this was from the software. So it happened too fast that I couldn't send it out. LL the same. So LL was a super quick trade. I couldn't send out as an alert. So when you have the PowerX software, you're actually getting way more because it is so easy. See, the wheel here shows you all of the possible candidates that we have, and then you can just see which ones does make the most sense for you. And this scanner here is refreshed. Let me actually just move this a little bit over. There we go. Right, it's refreshed every 2 minutes. So every 2 minutes you get the latest updated results here. So it absolutely makes sense to have the PowerX software because then you have way more than just the alerts that I'm sending out here. Dallas, is this helpful? Okay, good. So Let's see. Karen says, just open up a margin account for options trading. Need to do the training and patiently wait for your book. It is coming. It is coming. Absolutely. So, Lloyd, could you give us more info for portfolio margin on TOS? It's very similar. So the only difference here is, if we are going back to our handy dandy notepad, that with TOS, as far as I know, TOS is, or TD Ameritrade. TD Ameritrade is only requiring $150,000, maybe even less. And I believe that TD Ameritrade is giving you 5-to-1 leverage. Now, again, you can apply, you have to apply for portfolio margin. I'm actually highlighting this in yellow. TD Ameritrade is asking you to take a test. It's not a difficult test. There's 10 questions on this test, but they want to make sure that you're using it responsibly. Now, if you have been following here Coffee with Markus, I think that you're well prepared for this test. So this is how portfolio margin works on TD Ameritrade. You just need to apply for it and pass the test. Lloyd, is this helpful? Okay. Good. So Peter says, are you currently use all of the $500,000 for the Power X and the strategy? Yes, I do. And again, this is where I have my exact trading plan right here. Let me actually show you of what my trading plan is. So you see, we can just jump there and you see exactly, right, what I'm doing here and how I'm allocating these $500,000 to the wheel and to the Power X strategy. And again, if you're interested in this and would like to have a copy of this plan, just go to rockwelltrading.com, my plan. This is where all of my goals are in there. So trading for income is just one of the goals. As you know, there's a lot of other goals in there, and I'm making really good progress considering that today is only January 15th. I'm very happy with my progress thus far. Good. Okay, let's see. So, and Timothy says, yeah, when doing options, always calculate what stocks cost to buy. Yeah, this would be then the cash covered puts. And Timothy, it's a great point. I did a video on cash covered versus naked puts. I highly recommend that everybody's watching it. I'll link to it in the description and I'll post it here. So the video is called cash covered or cash secured versus naked options or naked puts, and you should definitely watch it. And David, you are right. If you're in Canada, portfolio margin is not available in Canada. Sorry, it's not the rules that I do. It's the rules that the Canadian government does, right? So, and here's why. Because again, margin is a double-edged sword and works for you as well as against you. And if you don't know what you're doing, you can actually lose a lot of money. So make sure that you're following the rules and guidelines that I gave you today. Because this way, as Timothy said, keep that money aside. Don't spend it on another trade. Good. All right. CRCR, thanks. Great content. Perfect. And MP says, stop loss. Yeah, of course. Always know your maximum loss, right? You need to know the risk. Trading is risky. You know that, right? I mean, there will be losses. So you know that I'm experiencing losses, and the key is to keep these losses small. Absolutely. Okay, so Charles asking, in PowerX Optimizer, the wheel scanner gives you the specific puts to sell, but if you're put the stock, will it then suggest call strikes to sell? Well, you see, this is where it's super easy. It does not, because all it does this way, you have the wheel calculator, and you might not have ever scrolled down on the wheel calculator. You see, this is where here, for example, I can clearly see for GDXJ. So let's just say, I'm filling it out for you here right now. Let me zoom in a little bit so that you can see it better. So for GDXJ, let's say I am getting assigned at 49.50. And let's say I'm getting assigned 2,000 shares. Let's just assume that this is happening. Right now, I can just see what option strike price would make the most sense. So if I look, for example, in my trading platform, and I see that for the 50 strike price, I can get right now probably 85 cents, right? So it's 82 over 88. So I'm just filling it out, and I say for the 50 strike price, I could get 85 cents with an expiration date of next week. You'll see, oh my gosh, annualized this would give me 78%. So I would make $1,700 in premium that I collect within 1 week. Now, if here's the really cool thing, if the stock moves above 50 and I get called away, I would make an additional $1,000. So my total here for this trade, I could potentially make $2,700. So that's exciting, but you see, it's super easy how you can just fill it out, and then the wheel calculator tells you the rest to do. So the scanner is mainly for finding the right puts, because honestly, I have placed, I don't know, dozens and dozens of trades, and I might have been assigned 4 or 5 times. So I designed this scanner for what happens most of the time, and this is where you're looking for new trades to get into, right? And then it's super, super easy, as you can see here in the software, to see how much money you make on the 50. And then you can also say, hey, what about if I'm going out to the 51 and I'm getting 50 cents, right? So you can go out to the, actually, you see, you can compare it. So let me just compare this for you, GDXJ. So same deal. We buy it at $49.50. We're buying 2,000 shares. So what if we go to the 51 strike and we only get 50 cents and also expiring next week? So as you can see, in this case, we would make $1,000 on the premium. But as you can see, if the stock moves above 50 here, 51, right? If the stock moves above 51, we make an additional $3,000 on the stock. So this is where you see here, the total gain would be $2,700 if we move above 50. And if we move above 51, it would be $4,000. So super easy to use it and to compare it. Charles, is this helpful? Good. All right. Zia says, Charles Schwab has a very complicated way of calculating your margin power. Well, you see, the good news is you can actually change brokers just like this. You can change them like bank accounts. No problem there. If you would like to know the brokers that I prefer, I did a video on this. It's called Best Broker or something like this. I'll post a link to it in the description and also here in the chat. Nicole is probably posting it. So it's how to find the best broker or best broker. So I'll compare 5 different brokers, and there's a reason why I am not trading with Charles Schwab. Anyhow, good. Let's see. So Brian is asking, can you talk a little bit about margin interest rates? When trading with margin, let's go with an example that the interest rate is 2.59. Now, here's the deal. That is a great question, Brian. Really appreciate the question. So yes, when you start to use margin, you have to pay interest. So here, for example, let's just use this Apple example. So let's say that you're getting assigned and you need to bring 12,500 to the table. So this means, so let's talk about interest rates on margin. And I want to use, Brian, I'm using, for your example, I'm using 3%. Is that okay? So 3% per year. Now, in this Apple example, okay, so you need $12,500 to buy 100 shares of Apple at $125. Okay, you have $10,000 in cash. So you need $2,500 from the broker in margin. Okay, so you pay, so you have to pay, there we go. You have to, Jesus, you have to pay, I'm getting there, okay, 3% per year on $2,500 that you borrowed. So let's just quickly calculate it. Where is my handy dandy calculator? So $2,500 times 3%, where is it? Percent means that it is $75. So this is $75 per year. Now let's assume that you are in this trade for 2 weeks. Okay, so let's assume you need this for 2 weeks before you sell the shares again. So let's just do a back of the math envelope. So $75 divided by 52 weeks means that, where's my handy dandy notepad? My handy dandy calculator, that's what we need, $75 by 52. So it is $1.44 So $1.44 per week. So this means that you would have to pay $2.88 for the 2 weeks. So my point here is, because it's a great question about interest rate and margin, and here's what I say to this, Brian, don't worry about it. I mean, are you really concerned about $2.88? It is not cutting into your profits because you only pay it on this part of your account that you only need it, and then only for the time period that you need it. So I wouldn't worry about it, because it's negligible. That is a difficult word for a German. I probably need another coffee before I can pronounce this word again. Negligible. Much better after coffee. Anyhow, so I mean, I assume that your goal is to make much more than $2.88 for 2 weeks, right? So therefore, I wouldn't worry about this. And so Odie says, how does the interest trade charged in margin account? Now you know. Okay. Perfect. We talk about this. Hey, John saw me this morning on the Benzinga show. Yeah, Benzinga invited me on the show, so I was in the prep talk super early. So for me, it was 7:30. Not the best time for me, but it was fun to be on the show. Anybody here who watched me this morning on the Benzinga show? If so, leave a comment. Let me know if you saw me this morning on the Benzinga show. I will be back next Friday on the Benzinga show, and it's only for 15 minutes, I believe, but I think it's a great crew. So I really enjoyed being on the show this morning. Great stuff. Okay. So Juan Pablo says, I can help you review the PXS Spanish version if you wish. I will ask Nicole if we need it. I think a few people have already reviewed it. Okay, VP got your mug. Trade what you see, not what you think. That is the most important thing that I can... most important advice that I can give you. Trade what you see, not what you think. Whenever I traded what I thought, it was usually a disaster. But now that I trade what I see, it is much better. Hey, I know that we are a little bit over time. Usually we go for 45 minutes. I hope that you enjoyed this show as much as I enjoyed being here with you. We have a long weekend. I haven't decided yet whether I'm doing a coffee with Markus on Monday. Since markets are closed, it is Martin Luther King Day. I'll definitely let you know whether I'm doing one or not. The best way is actually to subscribe to the channel, hit the little notification bell, because this way you get notifications whenever I schedule a new video and whatever is going on there. If you would like to have a copy of this plan that I have, go to rockwelltrading.com/myplan. I wish you a great long weekend. I know for us traders, it's a pain in the butt because we want to trade, right? Anyhow, enjoy your weekend. Have a great rest of the afternoon, and I'll see you in the next show. Take care, everybody.